Hello, hello. How's it going, all you beautiful people around the world? My name is Ryan, aka Say It With Me, Blackbeard TCG. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and if not, hopefully I can make it a little bit better. Now, look, in today's video, I'm not going to give you guys one, I'm not going to give you guys two, but I'm going to give you guys three deck lists. Yes, I'm going to be giving you guys my purple Luffy deck list, my Enel deck list, as well as my red and purple Luffy deck list. All three of these are going to be my decks for the OP-05 format. These are the versions that I'm going to be building day one. Already have some singles on the way, minus one card. I will talk about that when we get to it. But these are going to be my builds. I will be updating them regularly as well. But before I get into all that, I have some interesting news that I want to talk to you guys about. So, as you guys know, people have always asked me, hey, Ryan, like, you should make a Discord. When are you going to make a Discord? All those things. If you guys are new, the reason why I don't have one of those is because it's just too much maintenance, right? Some of you might have noticed me from before. I've seen you guys in the comment section. You guys have noticed me from back when I used to have a Maple Story channel. And I know some of you might not have heard of Maple Story. Maybe you guys have heard of Maple Story years ago. Maybe some of you guys might have even played it years ago, or some of you guys still play it. But a long time ago, I used to have a Maple Story YouTube channel, and I was actually quite known in the community at that time. And I had a pretty large Discord server, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, but it's a lot of management, right? Unless you have people that want to manage it as well. And I'm not really trying to do that for the One Piece card game. There's already a lot of Discords out there for the One Piece card game that I highly recommend you guys join if you want that. However, I'm planning on starting a smaller close-knit one. So not a big one where like anyone's just free to join, kind of like how I had before. This one's just going to be a smaller close-knit one, bringing out the Blackbeard Brawl, a concept that I had brought up way early on. I think it was around OP-02. Since I'm really going to start playing a lot more for OP-05, I wanted to get it kicked off for OP-05 now that things are more in place. So basically, I'm still trying to decide if it is going to be something that is weekly or bi-weekly. I want to see what the interest is. So far, it's only going to be 16 players. I might even do 8 players first, then 16 to see how it turns out. I'm not sure how popular it's going to be. In terms of entry fee, it's going to be completely free. So this is going to be basically an online locals. So I'm still trying to decide. I'll probably do a comedian. A community poll to ask you guys if you want to do it on the sim or if you guys want to use real life cards, just because there's some people that might not be able to go out to events in person, but they still have physical cards. It'll give them the opportunity to use that for online locals. And so basically, I don't want it to run all day, which is why I'm planning on doing 8 to 16 players at the absolute maximum. In terms of how I would let people sign up, I'll just make a Google form. People would submit like whatever the required details. I would send out invites to the Discord, and we'll just have a close-knit Discord. And then every now and then I will open up some more additional slots. And then I want to be able to commentate. I'll be live streaming the matches, commentating the matches, and then also obviously uploading them to YouTube for content all throughout the OP-05 season. Again, entry fee is completely free to enter these tournaments. In terms of prizing, it's going to come all out of my pocket. I'm planning on doing, if it is bi-weekly, it would be $20 Canadian. So sorry for you guys that are in the US or the UK. Sorry, that's only going to be $1 for you guys. No, I'm playing. But essentially, it is going to just be an online locals. If you win, you get a $20, cool, awesome. If you go to regular locals and you play, you get a tournament pack. You get a pack that's probably worth like $5 at the most. Whatever cards you get out of that tournament pack, it's probably not going to be even worth $5. So might as well play. You get to get some practice in, and if you win, you get $20, right? It's more so for fun. It's more so for testing, more so for bringing community together. Everything will be on me. Of course, if things get more popular and we want to run it like more than bi-weekly or increase the slots, then we'll see how that goes. But again, this is all coming out of my pocket. Your boy's not rich, right? If it's $20, that's something I could do. But if you're telling me $20 every week, yeah, that's not happening, because that's $100 a month, and yeah, I'm not doing all that. All right, those different avenues. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first deck list. So my red and purple OP-05 Luffy list. This is my list here. So let's go ahead and break it down for all you fellas. So we are going to be running 4 Nami, 4 Edward Newgate because Edward Newgate is now unbanned. We have 4 Basil Hawkins, OP-01. We have 4 Usopp from OP-05. 4 Zorojiro OP-05, 4 Frankie Suke or Franosuke from OP-05. We have 3 Sun God Nika. We have 4 Queen from starter deck 4 with Kaido deck, 2 Jean Bart, 4 Trafalgar Law, 4 Captain Kidd, 4 Radical Beam, 2 Diablo Jump, 3 Hell's Judgment. Okay, so let's break it down. Obviously, the Nami is straightforward, right? Nami's going to allow you to pull a whole bunch of cards. Nami's going to allow you to pull 2K counter, and Usopp is going to allow you to pull 2K counter, and Frankie also potentially through ending games through the rush ability from Frankie, right? Do not neglect that. This can definitely be a game ender if you have the access to do so. In terms of your Zoro, it's going to allow you to pull that so you can get ramp. More importantly, it's going to allow you to get 2 of your most important events. Your Radical Beam, which you can now play 4 of, and then also Diablo Jump. I kind of go between playing 3 Diablo Jump and 2 Hell's Judgment versus the 2 Diablo Jump and 3 Hell's Judgment, just because you really want to see this to close out games, especially in a format where there's a bunch of 5-cost kid, right? The blocker one. You have to deal with Borsellino, you have to deal with Sabos, you have to deal with Rebecca's, all of those annoying cards. Having a Diablo Jump can just make you just ignore that, you just win the game, right? So sometimes even being able to have 2 Diablo Jumps can just be absolutely disgusting. So that's why I feel like maybe I might alternate between 3 Diablo Jump, 2 Hell Judgment rather than what I have right now. But to be honest, in testing, there were so many times where I was like, damn it, I wish this was a Hell's Judgment. And so that's why I settled on this ratio, because I was just like, damn, if this was a Hell's Judgment, it would be lit. But yeah, Nami's going to allow you to pull all of those things. Now, in terms of your Rampage, you're obviously going to have your Basil Hawkins. You're going to have Jean Bart, because Jean Bart is going to be a swinger, but more importantly, going to allow you to ramp on those turns where you otherwise wouldn't be able to, right? You have your Basil Hawkins. What if you don't have your Basil Hawkins and you're on a turn where you can go ahead and play that Jean Bart, right? It's going to have a lot of value. Whereas if you don't have Jean Bart, maybe you could potentially play things like the Nico Robin instead, Miss All Sunday from OP-04. Let's go ahead and pull that up so you guys can see. Sunday. You could play her as well. Shit, you could even play a combination of Miss All Sunday and Jean Bart. However, I just like to have the counter value. And then on top of that, it's 1 less Dawn cost, so I can guarantee play this turn 2. Whereas it doesn't matter if I'm going first or if I'm going second, then I can definitely play this on turn 2. Whereas if I'm going first, I wouldn't be able to play the Miss All Sunday on turn 2. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's my rationale behind it. Obviously, you have to have your blockers, right? You're going to play the Trafalgar Law, going to be very strong in this setup. Going to be playing your Queen, right? It's a purple deck. You're going to be playing this broken card. Obviously, you're going to have your useless Captain Kidd for the Rampage. Being able to get Monkey D. Luffy at 7K is absolutely disgusting. And then Edward Newgate being unbanned is... Hey man, this is what makes a deck really, really work. So this is going to be my build. I already have everything for this deck in place and on the way, except for the Sun God Nikas, because the pre-order prices right now I think are a little bit, I don't know. Maybe I'm playing a little bit of Russian roulette, right? Because who knows, the price could go up. I don't know how popular this deck is going to be, but I do have my own box coming in. So we'll see if I can pull one from there. If I don't pull one, then I might have to look to buy the singles for it. But yeah, outside of that, this is going to be my for fun deck for this format. The next 2 decks I'm going to be playing are going to be my main 2 drivers. These are going to be my main 2 decks. And that's going to be my Enel and my purple Luffy deck. So let's go ahead and look over my Enel list right now. So I know it's actually quite controversial. I have been seeing a lot of Japanese players playing a build similar to this, not exactly card for card, but I've been seeing a lot of people playing this versus the Holy engine. And I've actually seen a lot of people running even more of a Sky Island focus engine where they run more Enel, they run Holy, but then they also run the bird card in yellow. this card as well, and they really play for the late game, right? They use this, they use Gadatsu and try to really control the board, get to the late game, and then start to play their big bodies, play their Enel, and then exert pressure that way. So there's multiple ways that you could play Enel. This is just the way that I like mine. Cracker is something that just comes so clutch. I just really like this card. Shirahoshi, in my opinion, I feel like you gotta find room for at least 3 of them. I feel like Shirahoshi is just such a good card. The amount of times that this card comes clutch, I mean, I have to play 4 copies of it. Obviously, the Katakuris, the Yamatos, that's going to be a standard straightforward. You're going to have your 2K counters as well. Brule is going to be trigger out of life. You need to be playing Thunderbolts in this meta IMO. There's just too many blockers for you to have to deal with. And also, you're able to KO Borsalino as well with this. Obviously, not on your turn, but on your opponent's turn if they swing and it's in trigger. I feel like Thunderbolt is just absolutely disgusting. And then this card is cracked. This card allows you to beat Sakazuki even harder. And honestly, is just, I mean, it's yellow, right? It's Gachapon, so you can get lucky. But this card has single-handedly won me games on the offensive end and defensive end. It is absolutely insane. So this is going to be my Enel build. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to have my Ohms. I'm still going to have my Holies, right? I'm going to have all those cards to play that the Sky Island version of Enel. So again, I'm going to be tweaking things around, but this is the version, this is going to be the version that I'm settling on day one, that I'll be bringing to locals, that I'll be playing with, and all of those things. And of course, be making changes as we go along. At the end of the day, make the deck list fit you. And then lastly, we got to talk about the church, right? As you guys know, from day one, I had to be a part of the church of Purple Luffy. And this is the list that I settled on. Honestly, I'm not really going to dive into the specifics because it's kind of boring. I mean, like, everybody, like... Honestly, Purple Luffy lists are, unless someone's running the Impel Down engine randomly, Purple Luffy lists are almost going to be the exact same. You're always going to be playing ulti with page 1 for that potential combo if it comes up. If not, just a 2K counter, 6K vanilla that you could play no matter what turn 2. You're going to have your Magellans, right, to stunt decks, right, really hit the yellow decks and things of that nature. You're going to have Uses Captain Kid to pump your leader up to 6K. You're gonna have your 3 copies of Kaido, your queen, right? Like there isn't anything that stands out. Obviously, you're gonna have your 5-cost blocker Kid. Every Luffy deck runs it, so I'm not gonna try to sit here and be like, oh, I revolutionized the Luffy game. Like no, okay. Like this is a pretty stock standard list. Maybe instead of Sphinx, you play Scratch Mana Poo. Maybe you play Babanuki. You see what I'm saying? Like, if anything, the variance is going to be the vanillas, but then outside of that, maybe a couple of tech cards in terms of the events. And so for me, I'm running 2 copies of Tot Knot in addition with Jet Gatling. I feel like Jet Gatling's really good. Part of me wants to find room for more Jet Gatling, and I want to do more testing. I guess I'll just have to see, because I feel like Top Knot is really good, because in another world, I would like to just run 3 Jet Gatling and no Top Knot. But again, we are going to be in a format where we are dealing with things such as Rebecca, where we are dealing with things such as Borsalino, right? And Top Knot's going to allow you to get rid of those things. And not only that, but Top Knot might potentially also be pretty decent when you're going up against Lucci himself, being able to just put him to the bottom of the deck. Because remember, if Lucci just goes to the trash, it's very easy for Lucci to be recurred in the Sakazuki deck via Rebecca, right? But with Top Knot, it's sending it to the bottom of the deck, which is really strong. But again, you're mostly going to be using Top Knot to get rid of those pesky blockers like Rebecca, in addition to Borsalino, right? So for me, I find a lot of value in Top Knot, and I've won games strictly just off Top Knot alone. And you know, I'm sure you guys can agree, when you test and like cards come up clutch multiple times for you, you just got to put them in. So for me, I like the Top Knot with the 1 copy of Jet Gatling. Obviously, if Jet Gatling hits in trigger, it's nice. It's a little bit more variance because you're only running the 1, right? But if it does hit in trigger and you do want to get that 1 extra ramped up Dawn, that's very nice. But I don't know. The list is so tight. That's the thing that's difficult, Purple Luffy. Like, sure, I could potentially drop 1 Kid, 1 Poly, and then add in 2 more Jet Gatling. And maybe I'll do that if I find games where like I'm just getting mathed way too much and I'm just like, damn, like I'm having too many cards without counter, I'm getting mathed though. It would just be really nice to have more counter. Maybe I will put in those Gatlings, but for now I think I'm going to stick with the list that I originally showed before I remove these cards. So with that being said, those are my 3 deck lists. I hope you guys enjoy. Take them, tweak them as you might. Are your guys' list similar? Are they not? Let me know in the comment section below, and stay tuned for the Blackbeard Brawl. Peace.